to my channel. So that footage was showing the aftermath of the raids that happened at Diddy's houses on Monday. So I posted another video the next day of an FBI agent giving his take on Diddy's fate, which I'm going to link on here. So check it out if you haven't already. So that article where the footage originated from read, of federal law enforcement officers did a number on Diddy's LA home, and the video shows clearly the mansion was turned upside down. TMZ has obtained footage of the aftermath of Monday's raid on Diddy's Holmby Hills. Drawers were ripped open, belongings scattered about, documents strewn about, and safes broken into. Agents had a field day with Diddy's electronic equipment. You see pieces of computer and other equipment in pieces in the floor. It's clear the agents zeroed in on hardwire drives which were seized during the raids. You can see that on that picture over there. Diddy is now speaking out via his reps about the two raids, and they're claiming loud and clear he's being railroaded by the government. The hip-hop mogul's attorney, Aaron Dyer, tells TMZ yesterday there was a gross overuse of military-level force as search warrants were executed at Mr. Combs' residences. There is no excuse for the excessive show of force and hostility exhibited by authorities or the way his children and employees were treated. He adds Mr. Combs was never detained but spoke to and cooperated with authorities. Despite media speculation, neither Mr. Combs nor any of his family members have been arrested, nor has their ability to travel been restricted in any way. Dyer goes on, the unprecedented ambush, paired with an advanced coordinated media presence, leads to a premature rush to judgment of Mr. Combs and is nothing more than a witch hunt based on meritless accusations made in civil lawsuits. Dyer underscores there has been no finding of criminal or civil liability with any of these allegations. Mr. Combs is innocent and will continue to fight every single day to clear his name. The statement comes a day after major drama for Diddy and his inner circle, who were under a microscope on Monday as federal agents stormed his LA estate and his Star Island home in Miami. So Homeland Security agents came in armed and ready, sweeping through the grounds of the properties and hauling people out, including the two sons, King and Justin. Sources with direct knowledge tell TMZ agents pointed lasers at the two men before handcuffing them and dragging them outside the house, but neither were arrested. So this boat here shows the agents making way to his home in Miami. So TMZ has confirmed that raids pertain to a federal investigation that Diddy is at the center of, which stems from allegations of trafficking, soliciting, and distributing illegal narcotics as well as firearms. It appears the feds got some of the information that led to the raids from people who recently filed lawsuits against Diddy. So this was footage of Diddy pacing outside the airport on the day the raids were made. At this point, we are told these movements are unrestricted. His movements are unrestricted, and he has not been charged with any crime, at least not yet, or he's not under arrest. So if you're in the dark, I suggest you watch the 3 videos I did on Diddy, which I'm going to link on here. So at the moment, more details have emerged from Monday's activities. So it's been reported a guy called Brendan Paul was arrested. And this guy is supposed to be Diddy's drug mule. So the article related to Brendan was titled Diddy Alleged Drug Mule Arrested on Drug Charges. But it's just an allegation. That's why there's quotation marks on the mule. So Diddy's alleged mule, as described in a recent lawsuit, was arrested Monday while Diddy and his crew were stopped by federal law enforcement agents. According to the affidavit obtained by TMZ, 25-year-old Brendan Paul was booked on two separate drug charges after the feds intercepted Diddy's plane at the Opa-locka airport in Miami, namely one count of possession of suspected cocaine and another of possession of suspected marijuana candy, both of which are felonies in Florida. So that's the plane that was grounded by officials when Diddy and I think his daughters and other guys were trying to fly somewhere. So in the paperwork, officers claim that while they were working in conjunction with the Homeland Security and Customs and Border Protection personnel, they came across what they described as the suspected drugs in Paul's travel bags, which they say he claimed. The cops go on to say that the suspected narcotics were tested and found to be legit, leading to Paul's arrest. He was booked into jail but has since been bailed out. Paul was named in Rodney Jones' explosive complaint against Diddy, which identified him as a close confidant of Diddy's, and more importantly, as someone who allegedly handled Diddy's drugs and guns. There are photos of Paul with Diddy included in the Rodney's lawsuit. That's the pictures of Rodney and of Brendan and Diddy. So there is no evidence thus far that the drugs allegedly found on Paul were in any way connected to Diddy. Diddy has previously denied all of Rodney's salacious claims. So there was footage showing the guy being arrested, the airport. It's amazing how the press was there ready for all the activities that went down on Monday. So another revelation is a pic of Diddy at the airport on that fateful Monday. I think this is when they were trying to board the private jet. So he can be seen here talking to the authorities. That's the time Brendan was arrested. And the article read, Diddy was face to face with the federal agents on Monday as they intercepted his plane. And TMZ now has a photo showing the interaction. This as his associate, that is Brendan, was taken into custody. So that's more footage. So Diddy got his back to the camera and doesn't appear to have been detained. You also see 25-year-old Brendan Paul in the mix, who was later arrested and booked on drug charges following the search. So that's Diddy with the blue pants. That's Brendan's mugshot. So as we reported, cops say they found cocaine and weed in Paul's travel bag. He was booked and later released. It seems like the drugs were for personal use. That's why he was bailed so quickly. So they say they obtained another picture which shows the same gaggle of people on the tarmac. You don't see Diddy in this particular shot, much like the other photo. So we got maybe here they'd already taken him to an interrogation room. Then he was seen later on pacing outside the airport. Yeah, that video went viral because people were claiming he had escaped from
I guess you wonder what's going to happen
US
next, Diddy.
to Antigua. We reported Paul was name dropped in Rodney Jones' explosive lawsuit, which alleged the young man worked as a mule for his former boss. So the article went on to say it's worth noting that Diddy has not been arrested or charged at this point. But as you know, the feds raided his homes in LA and Miami in search of incriminating evidence. So the article stresses that he hasn't been arrested or charged, but like I said on previous videos I've done about him, his reputation has taken a serious beating to the extent of affecting his businesses, because we know he stepped down from his executive position at Revolt TV. And the next day, I think that was on Tuesday after the raids, he sold his shares to an unknown person. So I'm sure those shares were sold at lower than their real market value, because right now he's under duress. So we also know of the Diageo deal which went south, which I've covered on one of the videos, which I'm going to link on here. So because of all this activity, his income streams are beginning to reduce as more and more people hesitate to do business with him. So we also know that he's forking out a lot of money on lawyers, because right now he really needs top flight lawyers whose retainer fees are not cheap. 4 more civil lawsuits, which are kind of similar to Cassie's. So despite paying Cassie over 30 million, it seems like his legal bill will continue going up, especially now that the government has joined in the mix of his legal issues. So because of the government's involvement, it's fair to say that he now has a criminal case to fight. Speaking of which, Cassie's lawyer made a statement regarding the raids from Monday. See, the lawyer said, after the raids, we will always support law enforcement when it seeks to prosecute those who have violated the law. The 37-year-old singer's attorney, Douglas Wigdo, tells Page 6. Hopefully, this is the beginning of a process that will hold Mr. Combs responsible for his depraved acts. It makes you wonder whether it was right for Diddy to make that $30 million payment to Cassie, because if she was going to tell it all, it seems like that 30 million didn't do its job of making her shut up. So this also leads me to think that she may be instrumental as a witness should the government decide to indict Diddy. Or had some legal experts claim that payment to Cassie is what made a lot of civil lawsuits get filed against Diddy. So let's
As a lawyer, because again, you say when all this stuff happened, it only takes really one case to get a good settlement, and then the lawyers jump on it, and we will find you, and we will pressure you, and hey, sign this retainer agreement. Let's get this money, baby. And so Cassie, assuming that she got paid 30 million, the attorney got paid 10 million. Once attorneys see that you can make $10 million a piece, oh, we're trying to sign up everybody. Now, Puffy can't keep us away. And then you got other people like, hey man, Puffy, just settle with everybody, pay the lawyers off, everybody who comes with the case, settle it. You got $1 billion. If you can pay 500 million to all these people, maybe there's 10 cases out there. Page case, $50 million. That's 500 million. You got another 500 million to keep for yourself. Do it, pimp. Just go. So lawyers, we can absolutely drum up some cases when there's money on the table. And
so the increment of the civil lawsuits could have something to do with why the government got really interested. Though, from what happened on Monday, it seems like Diddy has been under their radar for a very long time, because he's been having a lot of legal issues dating back to 1990s, but a lot of people have been taking the rap for whatever criminal activities took place surrounding Diddy. So Diddy aside, I really feel bad for the kids. It must be very traumatizing for especially the two sons who were present when the FBI agents raided their home. And also the fact that they were handcuffed like suspected criminals must have really done something negative to their psychology. So I also feel bad for the rest of the kids because their private spaces within their home sweet home got raided by strangers and turned upside down. Even the teddy bears were not spared. Kids must also be really embarrassed by the drama surrounding them because everything has been broadcasted on major media houses, which appeared to have been given a heads up before the raids. Former employees and former associates of Diddy have also been doing a lot of rounds on YouTube channels to spill more dirt about Diddy. So this may cause the kids to withdraw from socializing freely with people, which is not good for them psychologically, especially the young ones who are still in their teen years. I'm also sure most of their friends' parents are now prohibiting their kids from hanging out with Diddy's kids. And they're also seeing their inheritance go into lawyers' pockets to try and fight daddy's reckless moves. From the family might also be forced to move away from where they reside currently, and the kids may also be forced to change schools if their neighbors and schoolmates start shunning them. And this is obviously going to cause unnecessary disruption to their lives. When it comes to the raided properties, I'm sure the rich neighbors will start a petition to have Diddy move away from their neighborhood because that negative attention attached to him has the potential of dropping the property values. So you can see, for example, there's a guy who was trying to make way to his residence, but he was barred from doing so because of the raids that were taking place at Diddy's house. Article read, Ridley Scott was caught up in the chaos. He was blocked from his home. That's a cop there, and that's Ridley. So director Ridley Scott appeared seriously frustrated after he was inadvertently caught in the crossfire, that is figuratively, during the federal raid on Diddy's LA area home. So the photos show him, I think over here, he was trying to make way, but because there was a police tape uh, near Diddy's 40 million mansion, the filmmaker was spotted stuck in the traffic amid the chaos. Ridley, no different from the average Looky Loo, though in one picture seemed to be taking a closer look at the situation. But you got to imagine he was also frustrated that he couldn't get where he was trying to go, and that's his home. So that's him over there. I think he got off his car. We have a feeling Ridley wasn't the only notable name impacted by yesterday's events. So you see, this is why I said I wouldn't be surprised if the rich neighbors start a petition to have Diddy move out of their neighborhood. So Holmby Hills is a neighborhood on the west side of LA, which several LAsters used to call home. Some previous owners included Frank Sinatra, Barbara Streisand, and famously Michael Jackson. These days, there are more business mogul CEO types there. Still high net worth individuals, but Ridley, Diddy, Rod Stewart, and Kylie Jenner still lay their heads in the Holmby hood. So they went on to say Kylie scooped a 7-bedroom abode in the swanky area for 36 million back in 2020, although she did recently list the pricey mansion, so she might not be residing there much longer. I wonder why she decided to put it on sale. All eyes were on the exclusive neighborhood when Homeland Security descended upon Diddy's property as part of an ongoing investigation. I'm sure those rich neighbors don't appreciate that at all. So as TMZ reported, scores of agents and officers shut down the entire area with multiple helicopters circling the scene. So Diddy's Miami home was also raided as the feds served search warrants and attempted to gather evidence that they could use to prosecute him. On that note, I wouldn't be surprised if Diddy has begun receiving offers to buy his properties. And I'm sure those offers are way below the market value because a lot of people may now see like he has no bargaining power. So I'm sure there'll be more developments related to this saga, but the major takeaway in this is the fact that parents' actions eventually affect the kids. So I'll most likely come back with more on this subject. So for now, I'll just end it there. So just share your thoughts in the comment section below, like and share this video. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.